the highlands of Ethiopia, rising above East Africa's Rift Valley at some 9,000 feet, lie landscapes so lush the famed famines of Africa have never reached it. But where the natural resources here are in plenty, these areas, home to the Gamo people, have never in history enjoyed the resource of God's Word in the Gamo tongue. Unlike much of Africa, Ethiopia is a nation with early ties to Christianity, dating back to the early New Testament church. And though it is now the dominant religion, it hasn't been without persecution. 71-year-old Paulos Zato knows this well. He was one of the many Gamo people who faced it under a period of communist rule.
Some of us put in jail for 2 years. Many churches also closed, and we couldn't teach about Jesus Christ because it is forbidden to do that.
All he needed to do was denounce his faith. It would have ended the flogging and given him his freedom. But Paulos didn't break. And when the communist reign ended, he received his freedom and went on to participate in a period of great church growth.
All the closed churches open again. People they very interested to come to church and to worship Jesus Christ. So the church grew about twice in the number.
In 2005, for the first time ever, the Gamo people heard the story of Christ in their Gamo tongue. It was the Jesus film, and it fueled a hunger for these words of life. So the work of translation was accelerated, and Paulos was one of the translators. Paulos' strength, faith, and time in prison was not without reward. Of course, we know he'll receive it greatly in heaven, but on this day, on this mountaintop, people, starved for those words of life in their native tongue, began to gather. From miles and hours walked, they gathered. With thankfulness and anticipation, they stood shoulder to shoulder until there was a sea of faces, and the fruit of long labor was delivered to the Gamo people, the Gamo New Testament. But there's another detail to this story. While celebration rings out for more than 10,000 people, there are a few whose smile is a little sweeter because they know what else happened here on the ground beneath their feet. Yes, it was the place where the Jesus film rang out, opening eyes and ears in a new way. But on this same field, Paulos and many other Christians were flogged, beaten, and imprisoned for their faith. Our God is a God of both justice and mercy. He is a God from whom the details do not escape. And as the head translator put it best, holding the New Testament high before a sea of faces, he proclaimed, "God has taken his revenge through love."